It's LaxRatz, LaxWrap, and we've got lightning in a bottle this week. The teams, the plays, and now a spotlight on the players. We've picked 5 of the brightest stars to showcase, and they are spectacular. And doggone it, Strider has struck again. His pick for #1 has indeed ascended to the throne, at least for now. Yes, the new king is a sea king, and this team is making plays and going with the flow. Flo Seiden, that is, the leader of our new top team. So don't get left behind. It's time to walk, to run, to dance, to... Wait, what? Grab an oar and paddle like mad because it's time for Chopper, Chief, LaxWrap, hammer time. Welcome back, lacrosse fans. It's week 4 of the LaxRatz, LaxWrap. For those of you who don't know us, Chopper here, Chief there. Chief, it was a crazy week this week with all the games that went on.
Yeah, you know, we talked about the top 2. It seems to be that there's a top 4 now. Harvard Westlake had something to say about it.
Yeah, in fact, and Strider has proven prescient. You know, he made the right call. We'll talk a little bit about that as well.
Strider, clearly a mystic. He's gone 2 for 2 for picks. I wouldn't bet against him.
Okay, Chief, let's start talking about some teams first. And really, let's talk about what happened this week among the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, I was unconvinced that any other team could play with Loyola and PV, but I was proven wrong. Harvard Westlake definitely had something to say about it. First time in, I think, 2 years that Harvard Westlake actually beat Loyola, so huge win for the Wolverines. I'm sure they're feeling good about that right now. Harvard Westlake got up early against Loyola, coming out to a 4-0 lead, mainly on the play of Ian Hahn, the sophomore, went 15 for 21 facing off, and he had 2 Gs. Difference in a ball game. They were playing up the whole game. Loyola didn't get on the scoreboard until down 4. Asher Early played great, 3 goals. Harrison Liston had 2 goals. And I'd like to shout out the D-Middies. Alec Watts played great on D-Middy. And Harvard Westlake was anchored in goal. Alex Russell, huge saves when needed. Big W for Harvard Westlake this week.
In fact, they crept up on us, and I'm never going to get caught sleeping on the Wolverines. So, Chief, they lost to Palos Verdes by 1 goal.
Right.
They beat Loyola by 1 goal. You would say, hey, they're 2 or whatever, but they lost to Oaks Christian as well, right?
Yeah, so, you know, they lost to Oaks Christian by 1 or 2 goals, but, you know, it's a 4 or 5 team race right now. Rankings don't matter. Rankings are me and you sitting here coming up.
And Strider.
And Strider, clearly. Strider's matters, but, you know, if you're improving, which, you know, Harvard Westlake clearly is, that's the whole key, is improving.
Yeah, in fact, the only poll you want to finish #1 in is the last one,
That's
right?
it. That's it.
So, but where that leaves us now is Oaks Christian could very well be 9-0 when they go face PV.
Be a huge game against PV. 9-0 against PV. I assume they'll take care of business. Huge game.
Sure. And the other thing is that Loyola, you know, lost to a really good team in Harvard Westlake. Doesn't mean they weren't #1 or won't be #1, but we really do have 4 teams that are viable. So right now, you got to say the Sea Kings are #1, right?
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, talk about PV. I mean, they did a great job. They handled La Costa Canyon, which is a perennial top team in San Diego. And then they could have been caught sleeping against Agora, but they weren't. They came, they handled business, and then 2 days later, they took it to a Chaminade team. So PV's clicking on all cylinders. They're led at the face-off by Cole Clinton, who's going D1. It's Make It Take Lacrosse, and they're grounded in goal with Kyle McCann. Their offense is slashing. Too many guys to even mention. They're all contributing.
Great. And so, a word about Oaks Christian then. They're the only undefeated. Well, they and PV are undefeated, so we've got them 1-2 right now in our own pool.
Right.
Now 3-4. You got to put Harvard Westlake ahead of Loyola. They just beat them, right?
I think you have to. It's funny. The coaches poll came out. Somebody had Loyola 4 at the time, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. But as it turns out, as of today, if you go by numbers...
Yeah. So my guess is if they played a round robin, Loyola would not finish 4th in that group. But based on the current games, we got to put them at 4.
Full agreement. You know, they're a top team, but as of the numbers, it is what it is.
All right. Chief, for years we've talked about top teams. We've talked about top plays. In between, you've got the top players, and we've really never focused on that. Let's do a little bit of that today.
I'm excited to talk about these players because more than just ability, these kids are humbled, hardworking kids. I realized after I wrote this out and after I did some research, the common theme was hard work, extra shots, extra reps. So let's just talk about 3-4 kids this week, you know, and we'll see how it goes.
Fire away.
Right, first kid I want to talk about is number 27 from Peninsula, Max Chaw. Max missed his whole junior year with a broken wrist, came back with a chip on his shoulder. Max is determined to make the best of his senior year. He's a slashing midfielder. He was an attackman, moved to midi because of the way he runs the field. He plays always at full tilt. He can rip on the run righty, but when teams force him left, I think his shot is better with the left hand this year. He uses his large frame well and continues to dominate in transition. Max will be heading to Oberlin College in the fall and continue his lacrosse career.
Give us somebody else. Who you got?
Miracosta, number 10, Cole Garvey. This kid bursts on the radar, making the Under Armour team as a freshman. He has high standards of excellence for himself and an unparalleled work ethic. Cole throws heavy checks, but he can also throw quick, precise checks when needed. What impressed me most about Cole was his leadership. We were down by a lot playing Costa a couple years ago, and he just handled himself, handled his team, and he just looked like a man among boys, and that was his sophomore year. But I really think he'll shine as an LSM in college. He does a great job getting the ball off the carpet in transition and pushing transition really quickly. So Cole Garvey killing it.
Strike a blow for the long pole. They're both close defense and LSM.
That's right.
We talked very briefly about him in our very first show. I think we picked him out as a player to watch, and it sounds like he's really coming through.
He's living up to the hype.
Cool. Who else you got?
You got to look at Logan Solberg. I feel like this kid has been in high school for a million years because he dominated as a freshman. I've known about him for a long time. A dominant senior year. The kid has the ability to take over games. Literally can run through one check, can dodge the second slide, has no problem finishing inside, has a rip from outside, has a little shimmy after he scores. He's humble, he's hardworking, he's fun to watch. We'll be going to Yale, reigning national champ, so obviously I'm not the only one to see something special in the kid.
Excellent. And by the way, he's in our, I think he's our top 2 or top 3 play this week. So for those of you who have not seen Logan Solberg, stick around. You'll see him on our top plays.
And sticking with the theme of hardworking, I got Mac McLean out of Sierra Canyon. Mac is a competitor that just outworks everyone. He watches extra game film, takes extra shots, puts in extra time to be great, and has that X factor. Beyond his work ethic, big players make big plays in big games, and the kid always rises to the competition, is always stand out, gets to his left hand, can shoot the ball one-handed. He is a truck, a Mac truck, pun intended. He will be PGing next year. He's committed to Bucknell, but we don't know how that goes after a PG year. Mac McLean, every single game, bringing the heat.
You got one more?
Last guy, number 11, sophomore Bradley Sharp. Bradley has great genes. His father played soccer at UCLA. His brother plays lacrosse at Lafayette. His sister's going to Denver to play soccer. So obviously there's some genetics there that's helping it. It could be the flow. I like to refer to Bradley Sharp as flow-sided.
Of the Sea Kings, right?
Of the Sea Kings, bringing it back. Brad just makes big plays. As a freshman, he was All-American and Bay League Player of the Year. He's bringing back the art of the dodging attackman. He's slashing, he's dodging, he rides better than anybody I've ever seen, and he plays the game just so hard with a chip on his shoulder. What I may like best, though, is just, his overall hustle, but his humbleness. He's a chill guy. I asked him after the game, where he's looking at college. He said he just wants to enjoy the experience with his high school buddies, and then he'll see how the process unfolds. So, great hair, great dodging, great feeding, plays with his eyes up. The kid is a total stud.
We did chat with him after the Agora game. The other question you asked him was, when did he first learn that he might be a good lacrosse player? And he said, backyard, ripped a goal on his brother. Not bad, because the older brother is now a defenseman at...
He's playing at Lafayette. He's covering Pat Spencer at Loyola. So the guy's covering Pat Spencer, and in the backyard, Bradley Sharp blowing by him at an early age.
But you're right, great kid. Actually, all 5 of these players, just excellent players to watch. So if you get a chance to watch those teams, keep an eye on those kids and their teammates, because they have really put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
The top play each week qualifies for the grand prize. That is 2 nights of accommodation in sweet Costa Rica. That prize is available to the parents or guardians of the player or players who are featured in that top 10 play. You can look at more information about the accommodation itself if you go to 360flamingo.com and check out info at 360flamingo or info at LaxRatz.com for more information regarding that. But again, each week, top play will be rewarded with 2 nights accommodations in Costa Rica to the parents or guardians of their son or daughter who qualifies for the top play of the week.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Let's get right to the top 10 plays then, Chief. And coming in at number 10, we get a look at the slick backhand pass from Agura's Boaz Conrad, and then watch Andrew McCarthy shuffle the feet and convert.
Shuffle to the shuffle.
Okay, coming in at number 9, Chief. Brentwood is on the rise these days, and we've got a couple of plays from them this week. First of all, at the number 9 play, it's Bryce Lord with the scoop and swoop, taking it all the way to the house for the bouncer.
The Lord knows.
Viewpoint cracks the top 10 this week, and it starts with this fling from goalie Matthew Bloomberg, a laser strike to Sam Kritzer. And he's going to set sail, lugging this one all the way despite a long pole, and then the tough angle bouncer for the goal.
Changing levels, I like it.
Back to Brentwood again at number 7, and this time it's Gage Dado with the sweet apple finding Luke Steinfeld. Chief, you were a goalie. How do you deal with all these B2Bs?
You hope the pipe comes in, or you hope the percentages work out.
At number 6, it seems we get at least one pearl a week from Oak Park, and this time it's Tyler Bradbury finding Jason, and he is good enough in front for another nasty B2B. Back at number 5, and we're checking in on the girls' side, and this time it's Agura's number 3, demonstrating a complete skill set. First, the nifty stick check, the ground ball, then the burst, finally the duck and dunk. It's casual.
True fierceness from the Trace.
At number 4, it's Sierra Canyon's Mac Truck McLean, and Chief is just toying with Oak Park in this sequence. Several rips with an underhand give and get it back. And remember the Butch Cassidy movie, that Sundance Kid? Well, this guy's deadly accurate just as long as he can move.
The look, the flip, one hand. This kid can go, and he's relentless. Look at him, just relentless, relentless, relentless. Goal. Love this kid's game. And that's from deep. And the sweep. Deep and sweep, number 5. Deep and sweep.
Number 3, we talked about him earlier, Crespi's Logan Solberg, and he's going to dazzle us, dancing up a 360 spin and another one before sticking the landing. 10s all around, even from the Russian judge. 2 more from Logan, who demonstrates ambidexterity, that's both hands, Chief, and the subtle feint to create space.
Ambient lot, man. This kid just spins and rolls and ducks and dives and shoots and rips. He's got a huge arsenal in his game. He's got a little bit of shimmy, a little shake it off.
Chief, at number 2, it's Oak Park, and this time it's number 23, Tyler Bradbury, where he did the give earlier. This time he's cranking in multiple goals. You know, people talk about an athlete's first step, but this guy's magic is in the last step, creating space or closing the gap to the cage, and if he's seeing, you're believing.
Yeah, his ability to create separation on his second step is pretty impressive. It shows this sport is so great because it doesn't matter your size. If you can separate, you can score.
For Max, that's a tough angle, right? There's a tougher angle.
This kid's like a triangle, angled all up. I don't know much about angles, but that kid's good.
Chief, how often do goalies make the top sequence as fodder for some middy's goal-scoring spree? And how often has a goalie actually made it as the number 1 play? Well, today's the day. Just sit back and admire a master craftsman practicing his trade. Eli Turovsky sets up in goal and absolutely snuffs these shots.
He's making stick saves. He's getting his foot on it. The pipe's helping him out a bit. The kid was seeing the ball. It looked like a beach ball to him on this day, and he really was the difference in this game. In a 2-goal game, look at all these saves.
And you look, for the most part, no rebounds.
Just gobbling the ball, no rebounds, that's right. If you can save it cleanly, it's transition the other way. This kid had a day for sure.
Chief, I always get revved up over those top plays. They just seem to get better every week, huh?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, a couple of odds and ends for us before we get out of here. Number 1, I want to let the coaches know that we are highlighting freshmen on our show in 2 weeks. So if you've got a freshman on your squad that bears some review, please send us the clips and a little bit of information. We want to include them, right? Also, a big shout out to all the coaches, parents, and players that have been sending in your highlights. That's really what makes the show. We're all about the video, and the more we get, the more we can do. Chief, anything else?
No, just so you know, we're almost on spring break. We're about halfway through our season. A lot of lacrosse left to be played. A lot has been played. Who will emerge?
Give me one game to watch this week.
I'm going to go to the PV-IMG game. IMG, a national contender, so it's going to be great to see PV, who's obviously, you know, cream of the crop in LA. Let's see what they can do against IMG.
Well, I think I mentioned on the article online, they are entering the meat grinder part of their schedule now, because when they come back from spring break, they've got 2 tough Southern foes, and then I think they jump right in against Oaks Christian.
Right, and check us out online. We're trying to get some written content up now, so continue to follow along as this progresses. The process, we're all about it. We're excited for it, and looking to build.
You can go to LaxRatz.com. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on YouTube. Right. But the more hits we get, the better it goes. So appreciate everybody watching.
Yep. Help us help you. Let's all do it together.
That's it for this week's LaxRatz. LaxWrap, as always, for the Chief, I'm the Chopper. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Michael Wine.